Okay, so dividing the following numbers. So when dividing numbers, first question we gotta say is we always can think backwards, and we can always say, instead of saying what is 23 divided by 21, right? We can say that what is some number times 3 that would give us 21. We can always do this. And if we find the answer to this automatically, then that would be the answer to that. So this one would be like the fast way of doing, say, ones like these. But now we have, say, 22 divided by 3. So the question would be, how do we find the answer to something like this rather than something like that? Also, something like this, 22 divided by 21. Of course, if you had a calculator, what do? You just plug the numbers in and bam. Calculator gives you an answer, whether it's a fractional, whether it's mixed fraction, or whether it's decimal. But now we want to do this by hand, and we're going to do this on paper. So first we're going to set it up. We have to set it up like so. We're going to put whatever we're dividing here, and whatever we're dividing by on the outside, which would be 3. So now when we end up doing this, right, we're going to end up doing pretty much starting from the first number over in the first place, and we're checking this individual number to see, hey, does this divide that? So can 3 divide 2? And the answer here is no. Because if we look at it, the multiples of 3 would be what? 3 times 1 equals 3 right away. So if we say that, then we can be like, okay, if 3 times 1 equals 3, then we know right away 3 is bigger than 2. Because 3 is bigger than 2, we automatically say, okay, we need to move to the next number place. We cannot say that this 3 over here is going to divide that 2. So now we go over and we're looking at these two numbers now, which would be 21. Now we say, what number divides 21? And I'm sure many people know already, but if you didn't, what you would do is you would write out your tables, your timetables, going 3 times 2, so 3 plus 3 in other words, which would be 6. 3 plus 3 plus 3, add 3 more, that would be 9. And you do this all the way until you get to 7, and bam, that would be 21. And because that's 21, now we'll write 7 up top. Knowing that 7 will give us 21, write the 21 now under it. And after that, we're going to subtract whatever we have there. So that would be 0, 0. And then that will end up giving us the answer would be just 7. Alright, so now that we have that, let's think about, say, this 22 rather than 21. So 22 is around the same thing. Whatever is being divided, whatever we're dividing by, which would be 3. Now, we say, okay, we go same question as earlier. Start off with the first number. Say, can we divide 2 by that? We see that 3 times 1 is bigger than 2, so there's no way that we can divide that. So, bam, we skip over. Now we say 22. 22 is what? It's bigger than 3, therefore we can divide it. So now we'll say, what's the closest multiple of 3 that will be under, less than 22? So we don't want it to be bigger, we want it to be less than. Closest multiple would be definitely what? The same 21, because 21 is 1 under. If we went to 3 times 8, 3 times 8 is 24. 24 is bigger than 22. Therefore, we can't use that. So now we're going to go and we're going to use a 21. And now if we use a 21, we're putting 7 again. Now after, you're going to end up putting 21 here. Now you do the same thing as before. We're subtracting the two numbers. And when we subtract the two numbers, we end up with 1 as a remainder. And this would be the answer. The answer would be 7 with a remainder 1. Now, also, if you look at it, sometimes they get really technical and they want to see actual names of the words. Sometimes in the questions, they'll be like, okay, what is the remainder? So this part is going to be your remainder. The answer part will be your quotient. Whatever you're dividing by is called a divisor. All right? And whatever you are, the bigger number that you're dividing into, that's the one that you're breaking apart, it's going to be your dividend. So the thing that you're dividing into. All right? So now let's do the last one. The last one would be 22 divided by 21. So if we look at that, we'll be doing the same exact thing as before, starting off with the first number, looking at the first number saying, hey, does 21, the whole entire number here, 21, divide 2? And the answer here is what? Definitely no, right? Because 21 is bigger than 2, therefore it can't. Now we're going to go into the next number. We're going to say 22, right? So 22, can 21 divide 22? And the answer is yes. It doesn't divide evenly because, of course, you already know that 21 times 2 is way bigger than 22. But 21 times 1 is less than 22. So we're going to do 21 times 1 using that. And now we put that at the bottom. Once we do that, now we end up with this, and now we just do our subtraction, and we end up with a remainder. And our answer here would be we have a quotient of 1, and we have a remainder of 1. And that would be the answer for this one. So there's actually more to it. Say we can actually divide a number that's actually fractional. So say if I wanted to say divide 21 by a number that's bigger than it, like 23, I could actually do that. That's fractional. And the answer that we'll get from, rather than moving it into a fraction that looks like this, we're going to end up with a decimal. So I'll do that the next video that I make. So it will be 23 divided by 21 instead. So the smaller number being divided by the bigger number. So that's doable as well. We just need to know exactly the process of doing it.